So today I'm joined by keyboardist extraordinaire Adam Wakeman, a member of the all-star band that performed to celebrate the induction of Ozzy Osbourne as a solo artist into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Adam, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. So listen, I was curious. You're back from LA and back to the UK so quickly after only a couple of days, but just curious. I know you have back history with Ozzy as well as the Sabbath guys. You've toured with them before, but how did you actually get called to get invited to be in this house band?
The thing is I just haven't been fired yet in 20 years. I think that's how I'm still I'm still here. I make a good cup of tea. I think that's how I remain employed. It was I guess Sharon and Ozzy's idea when they were coming up with what to do to make it kind of a special event, and I guess myself and Zakk were thought would be good, good people to have there along with some other guests, and it was a great night. I mean, it really was. We did a few days rehearsals over in LA, and then we flew to Cleveland to do the actual show.
So because that was going to be one of my questions. Who actually puts the bands together? Like, is it the Grammy camp of sorts, or is it the Sharon Ozzy camp? Because I got to be honest, as sort of a journalist of sorts, I kind of have a little bit of a mixed reviews of some of the artists that performed. But who was it actually, like the Sharon and Ozzy camp that put the lineup together?
Do you know what? I would assume so, because they tend to make the decisions of what they do, and Ozzy will have obviously a big say in what he's doing. But I assume so. I mean, I don't actually know, to be honest. All I know is I was very happy to be there.
Yeah, because it's funny because obviously Andrew Watt has super uber producer of everybody under the sun, and Ozzy's kind of sidekick for the last two albums with Chad Smith on there as well. But it almost came across to me like it was a little bit more Hollywood-esque in a sense and a little less metal-esque. Again, nothing against Jack Black. I know, he's got his metal roots and he was tight with Ronnie James Dio and the Tenacious D thing. But I think a lot of traditional metal fans would have preferred to see somebody like a Rob Halford or Bruce Dickinson, or maybe even somebody like James or Lars from Metallica up there inducting them. But then again, both Priest and Maiden are on tour. But, I listen, it's all good. I think I would have liked to seen Zakk up there just a little bit more shredding, but it was definitely cool. But how was it like, let's say, performing with Billy Idol? Because again, that one came a bit of a surprise, on No More Tears. I mean, again, I love Billy for what he's worth, but I don't know if it necessarily, the song fit Billy and Billy fit the song. But how was it performing with Billy?
I really enjoyed it. First thing I will say, though, is that this is a classic example of you can't please everybody any of the time. There's always going to be saying, why the hell was that bloke doing it? Why was he not doing it? Why was he doing it? Why did they not mention this? Why did they mention that? I mean, it's for the 20 years that I've been around, there's so many kind of conflicting opinions, and quite rightly, everyone's got an opinion on music and what have you. So, to a certain extent, you just have to sort of ignore that, really, because it's whatever's done is done with the right intentions and the right choice of who they think to use. So what those reasons are, I don't know, but there would have been very specific choices for those people. It wouldn't have been like, just a random name out of a hat, Billy Idol, let's get Billy Idol in. So, they've been friends for a long time, as with Steve Stevens. So there is a strong connection between all those people, which is, it's just interesting. It might have been, I'll tell you what, if Lars was there and James from Metallica, there'd be a whole bunch of people just saying, why are they doing it? Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't believe. But for me personally, Billy Idol was, I mean, I've not met him before. Obviously I know his kind of his music, but he was really nice, came across really, really well, and it's not an easy song to sing, No More Tears. I don't think there's that many people that can get up there. But he was great. I thought he was great. And again, it's difficult. You're only there for 7 minutes, and there were three singers in 7 minutes. It's like there's no real, time to get in your stride. It's like it's TV. Go.
Yeah.
It's pretty full on, but it was really good fun. I enjoyed it.
No, I will tell you that I mean, seeing Wolfgang Van Halen, do the solo during Crazy Train. I mean, he's an amazing player. I saw that you put something on your Instagram, a photo with him. Ironically, yesterday his uncle Alex Van Halen, premiered his book, and I was actually took a day off of work, went to New York City to the Barnes and Noble, and he did his first book signing for his new book. So, tell me about your interaction with Wolfgang.
It's weird because I kind of have a sort of I had a strange draw to him because obviously he's the son of a very famous guitar player, and I'm the son of a famous keyboard player. So it's a bit like when I've got three kids, and the youngest kids are twins, 15-year-old twins, boy and girl. And when they were babies, you walk around in this kind of zombie-like state of just no sleep, or all the normal parenting things. When you see another parent that has twins, you feel a draw to them. There's like it's not twice as hard, it's four times as hard with twins. Anybody listening to this that's got twins will know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. You get this kind of weird draw to other twin parents. And I kind of felt a little bit like that with Wolfgang. He was very very nice, very humble, very, I kind of I've seen a lot of people putting negative things online. I'm now just not even bothering to go anywhere near X or Twitter because it is just full of people slagging people off, especially when it comes to music. I'm done with that. Enjoy the good things. Enjoy the brilliant people that are involved in music. And if you don't like it, just don't listen to it.
That's exactly right. Well, I don't have twins, Adam, but I do have four kids, and I think our kids are probably in the same age bracket, teenagers, 20 down to 10, and that kind of thing. So I do get the challenges of being a parent. So I'm with you, buddy. But maybe, hey, listen, the most important question was Ozzy himself. I mean, he looked great up there. He was dressed out. He had his jacket on up on the throne. But for you, I mean, how was he? How was he before the show, the couple of days before the show? Did you interact with him? And what was he like, let's say, hanging around the halls of the arena?
I mean, he's been he's in a brilliant place, sort of, mentally talking. We met up in June as well. I was over in LA for a couple of weeks, so I spent 2 or 3 hours with him then. And what's really noticeable, I think, is because there's always so much going on in the Osbourne camp. They're so busy. They never stop working, But because Ozzy's not on tour, he's got a bit more time to just, not be jumping on planes here and there and everywhere. And I've spent more time with him this month than I probably did on the entire last Ozzy tour. Which is, and we've chatted about loads of stuff, and just things that there's not normally time to talk about because you're too busy, with the tour and TV and all the rest of it. So it's been brilliant, and he's been great. Great conversation. I mean, it was very busy at that award do, as I'm sure you can imagine. It's like every 2 minutes there's more people coming in the dressing room to come and say hi to Ozzy and see how he's doing. So it was very busy. But I did get I got a lot of time, and I went to see him in the morning. And Sharon, before we left, I came back to England, and they went back to LA, and he was on great form. He's in a great place.
Yeah, because I mean, again, you do have the back history with them, touring both with Ozzy and of course with the Sabbath years too. But we were talking the other day. I think the last time Ozzy performed before the other night I think it was the British Commonwealth Games, and you played bass guitar, right?
I think Geezer had COVID, so they asked me if I'd do it, and obviously, jumped at the chance. It was great.
And that was, I mean, watching it in the US, I'm in the New York, New Jersey area, but seeing on the TV, my God, I mean, 40, 50, 100,000 people just in that whole area. I mean, it was just so cool. And it's a testament to you, Adam, as a skilled musician, that you can just jump in and, put down your keyboards and your piano and move over, not to a regular guitar, to a bass guitar, right?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, when I first started doing the Sabbath stuff, which was 2004, I was playing keyboards, and then I think I did a bit of rhythm guitar on Paranoid, and that was sort of it. And as it progressed over the years, Tony just kept saying, "Well, do you want to just play more guitar?" Because there weren't any keyboards in that one originally, and I'll do whatever makes sense for the piece of music or the show, whatever. And I ended up by the last tour with Sabbath in 2016, was it? I think 17.
Yeah.
That was I was playing the entire show on rhythm guitar, and then I think two tracks with keyboards. So it was weird. It was kind of. I mean, I'm way happier and more comfortable behind a piano and keyboards, but as a second instrument, guitar, I love it. I'm just a frustrated guitar player. Really. My friend actually calls me a guitar owner, not a guitar player. But you know,
I mean, it was. I was going to ask you this question later on, but your predecessor when during the Sabbath days was Geoff Nicholls. I mean, he was a longtime friend of Tony Iommi, the late Geoff Nicholls. He was great. I mean, he held Sabbath together with Tony through all the, let's say, those lean years, the years in the 90s, 80s, Headless Cross and Tear and others. But how actually did you get the call to join into Sabbath in those tours? And maybe just talk a little bit about touring under, with Sabbath all over the world for 13, and then, of course, the End Tour. What was that like for you?
it was amazing. The whole experience from what was interesting starting in 2004. That was Bill Ward was playing then as well. So it was kind of that was my first sort of outing was back then. And then over the years, obviously when Bill wasn't there, and Tom Kafitas came in, who was absolutely awesome, and obviously had come from Ozzy's band, so there was a kind of familiarity there as well. I think the thing that I remember most about all those tours is that I got to spend a lot of valuable time with them individually, where I don't know, often with bands they do everything together, and or they don't do anything together at all, and you never see anybody. Tony Iommi would love to walk, so he would walk every day. So a few days a week, I'd join him for a walk for a few hours and chat about music and just general stuff, which is great. Geezer again liked to walk, but that was normally sort of afternoon stuff. So you might get 2 walks in a day. You might do Tony in the morning and then go out with Geezer for a few hours in the afternoon and chat about a completely different load of things. And then Ozzy would tend to be, I'd go and have a cup of tea with him in his room or meet him for dinner. And yeah, same with Tony as well. It was it was very social. And then, every now and again, everybody would get together. And it was, looking back on it, it was so mega. It was so epic. Both those tours, and even the earlier ones we were doing the Ozzfest, it was so everywhere in the world. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves stuff. There wasn't ever a disappointing show where, with a lot of bands, you go, it's a bit quiet tonight. It's like there were no quiet nights. Everything was all sold out. It was massive everywhere. And I was just so privileged to have been a part of that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, Sabbath is a top 5 band for me. I was at all those New York and New Jersey shows. You probably remember them, the PNC Bank Arts Center, the Sheds, of course, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. All great memories. And on all, of course, even before you may have been in the band when they were doing the Ozzfests, just with everybody under the sun, Priest, Maiden, and so many other bands. Well, Adam, this has been a great segment. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll have you back on the show soon. Thanks.
Take care, man.
Metal for Life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.